Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special evening, the official launch of BOLDLY AUB, the transformative capital campaign to lead, innovate, and serve. I am Darine Najm, proud AUBite, and honored to be serving as your MC this evening. Tonight, we are gathered on campus to celebrate this institution's unique and rich history, and to discover together the vision that will propel it forward for generations to come. The evening will be filled with creativity, boldness, and surely some fun. We promise to inspire you and engage all of your senses. In your hands, you now hold AUB's 150 years of history. As you entered here tonight, you were offered the commemorative stamp issued by the Lebanese government in tribute to AUB. You have also seen on display exclusively designed silver coins that the Central Bank, Banque du Liban, issued in celebration of AUB's 150th, and the Lead, Innovate, and Serve book that features rare historic pictures of AUB through its 150 years. You will also soon listen and watch as AUB's story unfold through pictures, lyrics, and music. As you see, 2016 marked the 150th anniversary of AUB, and yes, we have duly and rightfully celebrated this momentous occasion. But we also did that so that through the strength and learnings from the past, we can look at the future with hope and confidence, embracing its uncertainty and complexity. So as we begin 2017, the 151st year of AUB, or better said, the first year of a bold new era for AUB, we hope to give you tonight a flavor of what the future of this institution will and should be like with your support. Now, we all might not share the same taste in music, food, or the arts, but we definitely share the same appetite to make an impact on the life of this institution, and through it, to lead, innovate, and serve Lebanon, the Arab world, and beyond. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Before we go on with our program, I have 3 announcements. The first is of a practical nature. Smoking is strictly prohibited inside this hall and inside the Hostler Student Center. Sprinklers will go off, so please do not smoke, it can get messy. The second is also related to smoking, but more of a health strategic nature. I am very proud to announce that at the end of 2017, AUB campus will be entirely smoke-free. And the third and last announcement is that this event is being broadcasted live on LBC2, thank you LBC International, and streamlined on internet. Allow me now to introduce our first speaker for the evening. A man of history, and therefore a man of the future. He is the chairman of the AUB Board of Trustees since 2009 and a former AUB student. He is the Ford International Professor of History and Associate Provost at MIT. He is former chairman of the World Peace Foundation and a past president of the Middle East Studies Association, and he was recently awarded an honorary doctorate from the world-renowned Earth University in Costa Rica. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Philip Khoury.
Good evening, everyone. And I mean it. This is going to be a spectacular evening. So I have the great privilege of chairing the AUB Board of Trustees. On behalf of our extraordinary Board of Trustees, it's my privilege to welcome you to this special event marking the launch of our campaign, which is also the launch of a bold new era for AUB. And I especially wish to welcome Prime Minister Hariri, who has honored us with his visit, attending this great event for us. We're really delighted you're here. Mr. Prime Minister, I've met a number of your ministers. I've met a number of your ministers this evening, and my guess is afterwards, if you'd like to have a cabinet meeting, you could probably put it together. But it's really to have all the ministers and former ministers here says something about AUB and how much devotion there is to this institution. So for the past year, we have been observing the sesquicentennial of AUB. For you who may not know what a sesquicentennial is, it's the 150th anniversary. We have seen celebrations by our alumni around the world, provocative academic events on campus, fascinating exhibits and concerts, and inspiring community outreach initiatives by our students. We have honored notable AUBites from throughout our history, and we have engaged our wide community of friends, neighbors, and partners in celebrating the rich history of this university. Wherever I go, I find people who tell me how important AUB is to them personally, but also how important it is to Lebanon and to the region more broadly. During our 150th anniversary, we were reminded of AUB's great legacy and how crucial it is not only to sustain this legacy, but to build on it. We must not rest on our past laurels, but must strive always to set high, very high goals for ourselves and build on our strengths. The 150th anniversary was not a time for self-indulgent nostalgia. It was an opportunity, rather, to remind ourselves and the world what AUB is all about, what our core philosophy and guiding principles are all about. Understanding who we are and what we've accomplished will help guide us to a future of even greater impact and relevance. And we have distilled these principles into 3 pillars: leading, innovating, and serving. We lead through knowledge creation, through openness, through diversity, and a commitment to sustainability. We produce thought leaders and community leaders with the passion and drive to effect significant and meaningful change. We innovate with firsts in a wide range of disciplines, from medicine and engineering to nutrition and humanities. AUB has been and will remain at the forefront of groundbreaking movements and ideas. But perhaps most importantly, we serve. We serve the communities around us, near and far, through outreach initiatives and regionally relevant research and the exceptional medical care we provide. Boldly AUB, with a $500 million campaign goal, is the most ambitious campaign in our history and is vitally important at this critical juncture in the history of the university and of the region. We must ensure that AUB can continue motivating future generations to become thoughtful, creative, and inspired leaders that this region and the world at large aspires to see, and at a time when an informed citizenry and a servant leadership is most desperately needed. We must ensure that we can bring the best and the brightest to AUB. We must be able to recruit and retain top-notch faculty and staff, and we must make it possible for promising young men and women to attend AUB without regard to financial constraints. This university was built upon a foundation of service and a visionary philanthropy. Our founding fathers and mothers, our founders, understood this. They recognized the need for this institution to create the opportunity for individuals to improve their prospects and enhance their communities. Throughout our history, the generous support of individuals, companies, foundations, and governments has helped us expand and diversify. And now, as we look forward to this future, we are asking for you, all of you, to partner with us as we embark on a bold plan, new plan for AUB. With your help, we can accomplish the ambitious vision our new president and his leadership team have put forward. Whether through your financial generosity or by giving the gift of your time and your enthusiasm, we need your support to help us make the transformative goals of this campaign a reality. Now, I may be biased, but I don't think so. We are truly fortunate to be led in this effort by Dr. Fadlo Khouri, whose leadership and dedication to making a difference in the world have been evident throughout his career and have been made abundantly clear since he took the helm of this university 1.5 years ago. There is a renewed sense of shared purpose on this campus and genuine optimism from our community of friends in Lebanon and around the world. And let me interject, and from our trustees in spades. A belief that together we can accomplish great things. Now, to tell you more about what these great things are, please permit me to welcome President Fadlo Raja Khouri.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Representative of the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Ali Bazzi Khouri, all Khouris, including Muhammad Saeed Khouri, distinguished guests, members of our esteemed Board of Trustees, colleagues and friends. Tonight, we gather in support of the single most significant human construct that we have. It's no exaggeration to say that nothing on earth compares with its power to generate positive change. In the harshest conditions, it is the best means towards improvement for individuals and communities. Yes, I'm speaking of education, the only idea our greatest thought leaders have been able to agree on throughout history. For Aristotle, it was an ornament in prosperity and a refuge in adversity. For Benjamin Franklin, the investment which pays the greatest interest. The great Nelson Mandela called it the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, probably the only time you'll ever hear me quote Tony Blair, who got so much wrong. Even Tony Blair was right when he said, "Ask me my 3 main priorities for government, and I will tell you education, education, and education." If Mr. Blair had stuck to those priorities, I think the world would be a better place. Whatever the stormy conditions around us, this university sits at the heart of a remarkably resilient educational network, as healthy a knowledge ecosystem that you could hope for in a country that has suffered so much. Fortunate are we for the National Council for Scientific Research, CNRS, which guarantees that Lebanon retains a place amongst the viable nations of scientific researchers and imparters of knowledge. And fortunate are we at AUB to have extraordinary sister universities in Lebanon. The Université Saint-Joseph, represented by its president, Mayor Salim Dakash, the Lebanese American University, represented by its president, Dr. Joseph Jabra, The University of Balamand, whose president, Eli Salem, assures me that he only crosses down to Beirut to attend a funeral, so no funeral today. And all our other sister universities, whom we believe in and we want to succeed, we want to see succeed just as much as we want to see AUB succeed. AUB is a unique and special institution. You can feel it as you walk instinctively through the main gate, as you enter our spectacular C-framed campus. We know it from the influence we've had with great leaders who have emerged from our classroom, from scholars to academics to medical staff to political leaders, and so on and so forth. None brighter than the great trustee, Dr. Huda Zughbi, the most stellar basic researcher to emerge from AUB in its long history. Thank you, Huda. As a student of AUB history myself, I could also argue that the community's ability, its brilliance in adapting to the vicissitudes of life and even in thriving from them is what helps set AUB apart. The highlight of my day-to-day experience every day is encountering AUB students and seeing the projects they develop at the same time that they pursue their arduous study schedules. So it's no surprise that within a few years of graduation, we see countless alumni who make a real impact on the world. People like wearable technology pioneer Hind Hubayqa, founder of Instabeat, or games product manager Khalid Abdurrahman of Pokemon Go fame, or street artist Yazan Halawi. Less familiar names to some of you include more recent ones, equally inspiring young folks like Yusuf Jamil Murad, who, not finding any employment that fit his ambition in Lebanon, went ahead and set up his own company, and within months of graduation, he's now managing a half-dozen building projects in his native Sharri. So what makes Yusuf's story all the more inspirational is that he is a product of the USAID program. This is one of hundreds of students who would not otherwise have had the opportunity to get an AUB education, and they come from the most underrepresented communities in our land. I can't talk about inspiring students without mentioning the group Students for Sustainable Energy for All, who, a group of dedicated engineers and business students, took the time to raise funds and light up a village in northern Lebanon. They were engineers, pre-med students, historians, marketing students. They were told that the project to light up a village in the north was too much, but they raised tens of thousands of dollars and brought in a project to light up this village to conclusion under cost and ahead of schedule. But we can't sit back and relax, content in the knowledge that the talented youth of Lebanon and the Arab world will continue to pass through our portals and go out to change the world. Yes, Yusuf and Hind and Khalid and Yazan are adornments to borrow from Aristotle to our society, but I think even our great leaders would agree that this is not a time for prosperity in the Arab world. Adversity abounds everywhere, and AUB is the refuge. That's why we're launching this capital campaign. It's called BOLDLY AUB, the campaign to lead, to innovate, and to serve. That's why we aim to raise over $500 million so we can educate an ever-increasing number of highly deserving students. So we can put much-needed innovation and entrepreneurism where it belongs in the labs of our extraordinary faculty. So we can develop a citizenship and a level of leadership that Lebanon and the Arab world badly needs today. Let's look at our great medical center. Does anyone doubt that the AUB Medical Center has transformed Lebanon and the region, not just once, but many times? The late, great King Faisal of Saudi Arabia knew that an investment in AUB and in its medical center was an investment in the health of the Arab world. It was a partnership that changed the equation for generations to come. First, it stopped people leaving the Middle East for many years in the Arab world to seek world-class medical care. They could get it right here. and during the Civil War, our medical center, by treating everyone the same and ensuring that everyone had world-class medical care, was able to protect the greater area of Ras Beirut and of Beirut and keep a sense of shared mission and of egalitarianism. That's the standard that we aspire to, one that resonates with our values to educate, to treat the mightiest and the least fortunate to the best of our ability. In 20 to 30 years from now, the AUB students of today will be leading societies in Lebanon, in the Arab world, and beyond. They'll be leading, they'll be changing society for the better, as teachers, as physicians, as educators, as engineers, as humanists, and yes, as political leaders. We're deeply proud of our legacy of leadership in Lebanon, in Jordan, in the Arab world, and beyond. AUB is an institution that has always been about relevance, resilience, and impact. Supporting, mentoring, nurturing, and advancing today and tomorrow's best and brightest is at the core of this campaign. After 30 years have passed, when I will be in an old folks' home somewhere, as I predicted with Dean Sayer, probably beating him at chess and losing to him at trick-track, I want us all still, everyone here, to know that we did everything possible to ensure that the future of these individuals is better than it could have been without our help. That's why we're turning to you, to the great AUB community. This will be difficult. We don't do anything that is easy. As the great AUB alumnus Zaha Hadid, who was a tremendous loss to the world, said when she spoke about creating something lasting, she said, if you want an easy life, don't be an architect. We're all one team, board, leadership, faculty, staff, students, administration, the Republic, the donors. None of us seeks an easy lift. We're all going to have to be the architects of this university so that AUB can help build the Arab civil societies in partnership with our sister universities, with NGOs and others. The target, as you heard from my friend and board chair, the distant relative of Mr. Ali Bazzikhoury, say, 500 million is the largest campaign of any private university in the Arab world, more than we've ever dreamt of procuring previously. But in the past few years, as we planned this campaign, the board and the leadership started raising seed money for its priorities. I'm very proud to announce today that as we launch the public phase of the campaign with this event, we've already secured $275 million in paid gifts and pledges. I would like to thank each and every donor who chose to partner with us as we move firmly to achieve our bold vision for a better future for our community, for the country, and for the Arab world. I particularly want to thank by name the following leadership partners who stepped forward with multi-million-dollar gifts to AUB as part of this silent phase of this campaign. Don't be discouraged. In a few years, I'll be reading all of your names. Elmer and Mamdouha El Sayed Bob's Foundation. The Levant Foundation. The Sam'an Foundation. Trustee Farouk Jabr. Trustee Mu'taz Sawaf. The Kamel Abdul Rahman Education Fund Trust. Dr. Salim Salibi. B&B Energy, the Basatni family. Pillar Partners. Trustee Saeed Samih Darwaza. Mufid Farra Foundation. the family of Ahmad and Jamila Bizri. Next, a name that was with us through the drilling of the last 4 months, Trustee Munib al-Masri. Thank you, Munib. The Dar al-Wafa Foundation, the Asfari Foundation, the Wa AUB Dubai and Northern Emirates Alumni Chapter, Trustee Philippe Jabir, Trustee Hisham al-Jarudi, and Mr. Na'mi Tami. A round of applause to all of our generous donors. As AUB honorand Samir Zard said at last year's graduation, there is not a nation in world history that has failed to prosper without making the education of its citizens a priority. AUB's extraordinary past and its dynamic present means that its future success is the best chance possible for the recovery and reemergence of our Arab world. If we believe in that goal, and we have to believe, we should all put our sweat equity into this extraordinary enterprise. Whatever your budget is, every gift counts, from $10 to $10 million and beyond. But I know that this group, which is composed of so many long-term friends of AUB, will step to the mark and join us, because there's no imperative and no better path forward for our collective survival and advancement as a society. So with great faith in this institution and tremendous optimism for our future, and for all of your commitment and support, I would like to now officially declare that Boldly AUB, the campaign to lead, innovate, and serve, is formally open. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to make a very special announcement and speak about a very special, indeed a unique man. Mr. Maroon Saman is an AUB graduate, an entrepreneur, a businessman, a civic leader, an innovator, a philanthropist, and a visionary. Mr. Saman graduated from AUB in 1977 with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. After graduation, he went to the Gulf and assumed various positions in the fields of oil and gas, civil works, and infrastructure projects. In 1991, he joined his long-term partner, Mr. Ayman al-Asfari, and joined to establish Petrofac International, which has now become a leading world-class oil and gas engineering company. During his tenure at Petrofac, Maroon, who I believe is watching us live, served on the board of directors and held various leadership positions. Mr. Saman was Petrofac president when he retired from the company in December of 2013. Since then, he's focused on entrepreneurial endeavors in renewable energy, telecom, and real estate. He's currently chairman of Bluestone Management Limited and retains the blue-eyed optimism, the undiminished belief in the future that he had as a young AUB student. Mr. Saman has been an active member of AUB's Board of Trustees since 2013. Until recently, Mr. Saman also served on the Board of Trustees of the American University of Sharjah. He's also a founding member of AFED, of the Arab Forum for Environment and Development, and in 2013, he received the American University of Beirut's Faculty of Engineering Architecture's highest award, the Distinguished Alumnus Award. In 2011, Mr. Saman had a vision, and through that vision, he established the Saman Foundation. The Saman Foundation provides philanthropic support in the fields of education, medical care, and social welfare. Mr. Saman and the Saman Foundation have been leadership donors to AUB. In addition to supporting student scholarships, PhD fellowships, and innovative research at the Faculty of Engineering, they were one of our strategic partners for our 150th celebrations that allowed us to celebrate our 150th anniversary and my own inauguration without using a penny of operating dollars or student tuition. So for that, I want to thank Maroon and his family. His most recent gift, completed in November 2016, was to name the AUB Medical Center's Outpatient Surgery Center after his parents, the late Tanyos and Suraya Saman. I would now like to show a short film on Mr. Maroon Saman. You will see it on your screens.
أهم استثمار يمكن أن يقوم به المرء هو تعليم وتأهيل الأجيال الصاعدة وإعطاؤها كفاءات للمستقبل. بهذه الكلمات عبر رجل الأعمال اللبناني الناجح مارون سمعان عن آماله وتطلعاته للأجيال الجديدة في بلده. هو الذي أبحر بعيداً في عالم الأعمال، ظلت مرساة سفينته راسخة في شواطئ وطنه الأم، فكان الحنين دوماً للأرض التي أنجبته وأحبته، فقرر أن يبادل شعبها بالحب وأكثر. ولد في بلدة ديردغية قضاء سور من عائلة من 7 أفراد، وهو السادس بين أشقائه وشقيقاته. والده الذي عمل في تجارة المنتوجات الزراعية سخر قدراته لتعليم أبنائه، فأرسلهم إلى أهم الجامعات ومن بينها الجامعة الأمريكية. تلقى دروسه الابتدائية في الجنوب وتخرج حاملا شهادة البكالوريا في الرياضيات والعلوم، واحتل المرتبة الأولى في لبنان محققا أعلى العلامات، وكان ذلك في العام 1973. درس الهندسة الميكانيكية في الجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت، وتخرج في صيف 1977 واضطر للهجرة بسبب الحرب. متزوج من تانيا منير عيسى وله منها 3 بنات. عمل مع اتحاد المقاولين CCC لمدة 13 عاماً. في أوائل التسعينات أسس وشريكه أيمن أصفري شركة بتروفاك انترناشونال التي عملت بداية في آسيا الوسطى وشرق آسيا، ولكنها انتشرت وتوسعت في معظم عواصم العالم. نجاح في رئاسة مجالس الإدارة، إبداع في التخطيط ورؤية للمستقبل، مزايا جعلت من مارون سمعان اسماً لامعاً على مستوى كبرى شركات النفط في العالم. أسس عام 2010 مؤسسة سمعان في بيروت لدعم الأنشطة الخيرية في مجالات التعليم والرعاية الصحية، فضلاً عن الرعاية الاجتماعية. عضو مجلس أمناء الجامعة الأمريكية في الشارقة AUS لسنوات، كما عضو مجلس أمناء الجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت AUB. مارون سمعان مثال للمواطن الصالح الذي أبدع عالمياً ويعود ليستثمر اليوم بطاقات وطنه البشرية. هو الذي استخرج من الأرض خيراتها يرد لها الجميل أضعاف أضعاف. فأي استثمار أنبل من هذا؟ أن تزرع سنابل مملوءة بالعلم والمعرفة في أرض خيرة سيكون فيها الحصاد لا شك وفيرا.
Mr. Chair, could you join me, please, on behalf of the board, please? Mr. Chair, may I ask that you confirm the assent of the trustees gathered here with us? If the trustees could stand, please.
Could we have the trustees please stand, including Emeriti? Thank you.
May I have your assent for us to increase the goals of the campaign from 500 million to 650 million, thanks to this extraordinary gift, the largest in the history of the university by an order of more than 50%, and a second gift, which will soon be the second largest, that will be announced at the March New York board meeting. And Mr. Chair.
You have our consent, Mr. President. It's wonderful to me just when we look at the priorities that President Khoury has articulated so well for us, we feel that we have to be yet even more ambitious if this university is going to join the world class of research universities, and we think it will. We think it is on track. Maroun Samaan understands that, thank goodness, and we need more like him. And many of you in this room, of course, know what we're talking about. So I think you articulated the goals of the campaign so brilliantly. This gentleman and his family and his foundation are doing something extraordinary, extraordinary, and we are so grateful to you. Thank you.
Steve. So I was confident that you would assent. Thank you, trustees. So I and my leadership team came prepared. Once Ms. Noor Samaan has finished her speech, I'm going to ask VP for Advancement, Dr. Ahmad Baalbaki, to replace all the literature along with his team. Of course, he's not going to do it on his own, on your table with the new campaign literature that was printed just last week and this weekend. But if I could please, with great honor, ask Mrs. Tanya Isa Samaan and Maroun's oldest daughter, Noor, to join us on the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all from Maroun Samaan, and a special gratitude to the American University of Beirut from one of its sons, my father, who was certainly following the celebration today, wishing he was with us all, but his health condition and ongoing treatment in Boston prevented that. Since my early days, he's always told me about AUB and what it offered to Lebanon and the Middle East over a period of 150 years, and what it gave him as a graduate from the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture. 2 years ago, he encouraged me to enter this campus, where I spent 2 months during which I loved it just as he did. He had hoped that I would continue my studies here, but circumstances dictated that I moved to Boston in order to complete my university studies there. Fate had decided that I should be there as a daily companion in his medical treatment journey. I don't need to tell you about my father. There are amongst you people who know him probably better than me for his kindness, modesty, generosity, and brightness. But I can claim to know more about his keen interest in education and his love for Lebanon and its south, Ajnoub, where he was born and in which he grew up and received his education in the schools of its villages and cities before he landed at the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture here at AUB. Throughout his schooling, he never relinquished a leadership position, a leadership that he extended to the business world, where his reputation precedes him across the globe. From his early years, my father absorbed the passion for education and philanthropy from his parents. I will not recount his well-known contributions to this great institution and others throughout this country and beyond. He always wondered how someone with means could rest his head on a pillow while a neighbor of his, near or far, is unable to make ends meet. Therefore, his door was always open, and we will strive for it to remain so. The Samaan Foundation was only set up to fulfill some of his dreams and aspirations. His primary objective is providing a suitable environment for students and seekers of knowledge. His ambition is to ensure the availability of medical care and to encourage development projects wherever there is need, as his contribution in the lighting of a candle in the Middle East, which is blighted by destructive wars. He continues to dream of a great educational edifice which hosts research and laboratories in Lebanon, similar to or better than those existing in other countries. Lebanon can then resume its avant-garde role in the enlightenment and the development of the region by contributing the revolution of technology and modern sciences. I have no doubt that Maroon, who is in Boston, close to its famous Copley Square, which holds a monument for Gibran Khalil Gibran, is happily following with us the celebration, full of hope that the university from which he graduated, including the faculty which awarded him his degree, is planning, through its curricula, project, and aspirations, to keep pace with modern times for another century, excellent contributions for the future generations of students who will serve the needs of Lebanon and the rest of the Middle East. He is happily following the celebration with us, feeling confident that the country which begot the Renaissance men such as Hassan Kamel al-Sabbah, Michael Debarre, Philippe Hatte, Ramal, and many others still holds a great potential to produce more like them. He follows this occasion with us, full of hope that the many young Lebanese brains will stop migrating to other parts of the world, and that the political and academic institutions of Lebanon will work towards removing Lebanon from the list of countries that expel its gifted and well-educated people. My dad, I am so proud of all that you've achieved and all that you've given. I send you a message of love from me, my mother Tanya, my sisters Tala and Maya, your brothers, sisters, your extended family, and all your friends. I hope you will soon return to your homeland and to your university, faithful and loyal as we know you, in order to participate with benefactors and people of goodwill in making plans for the future of Lebanon and the Middle East. I love you, Dad. Thank you.
Mr. Board Chair, could you declare the new name of our Faculty of Engineering and Architecture for the first time ever?
Yes, it would be my honor. The Maroon Saman Faculty of Engineering and Architecture. Congratulations to everyone.
Elvis has spoken. Music.
What a way to start the most ambitious campaign in AUB and the region's history. Thank you once again to the Saman family and the Saman Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, boldly AUB.
Education changes people. Education changes communities. Education is the key for any society to prosper. In a world full of threats and challenges, we must prepare the next generation to lead with courage and with compassion, to innovate with curiosity and creativity, and to serve through inspiration and aspiration. 150 years of transformative education. Our aim is nothing less than leading the region in modeling a fair and just society. AUB holds the key to peace, prosperity, and a life more abundant for Lebanon, the Arab world, and beyond. We have made history. Now we must make the future, but we cannot do it alone. Join AUB as we step boldly into the future. Partner with us as we start solving tomorrow's problems today. Boldly AUB, the campaign to lead, to innovate, and to serve.